Hi all, welcome to my channel. So I am starting a new video series on uh, cloud data pack actually, right? So as part of our earlier videos, uh, uh, I have made few videos on data flow and also BigQuery, right? So now I would like to start new video series on cloud data pack. Okay, as you most of you know, right? So cloud data pack is a big data processing service available on GCP to run our Hadoop and Spark workloads, right? So basically, if we have some already existing Hadoop or Spark workloads, if we have to migrate them to the Google Cloud Data Proc, right? So this is basically we have many advantages with Cloud Data Proc, right? So it's fully managed, right? And you can create Dataproc cluster, that is Hadoop cluster, with few clicks, right? So within almost 90 seconds, so our cloud data cluster will be provisioned for us to use. Okay, so let us go and let us try to understand some basic details, right? And then we'll go to the demo. Okay, so as per the Google official documentation, right, Dataproc is fully managed and highly scalable service for running Apache Hadoop, Spark, and other open source tools or framework to process big data. Right? We can process structured or unstructured data. Right? So there are few options available. Right? Uh, to make use of Dataproc. Right? If you want it to be serverless, yeah, we have that option available. And if we have to still manage our clusters, right? Like adding number of workers and decreasing number of workers, still you can have that control, right? So the cluster can be created by using compute instances and as well Kubernetes. It's based on our choice. Okay, so and one more advantage is like it has built-in integration with okay cloud storage, BigQuery, Cloud Bigtable, Cloud Lagoon, other GCP services, right? And we can spin up Dataproc cluster, and uh, uh, there are some other tools available. We can configure them and we can run through data analytics, right, using Python, and we can even make use to run ML workloads. Okay, so these are the few advantages, and we can interact with Dataproc cluster using different methods or ways, right? One is anyway, obviously it is Google Cloud Console, the easiest way, and we do have Cloud SDK, that is CLI, right? So we can interact using CLI commands and also RESTful APIs and SSH access. We will see how we will in the demo, right? As part of demo, I will clearly show how we can interact with Dataproc cluster using these methods, right? And as I already told, we can configure optional components like Jupyter Notebooks, Anaconda for different purposes like data analysis and ML activities. Okay. So one major advantage you will get is like usually Hadoop, it consists two components, right? One is data component and other is compute or processing component, right? So usually you will store files or data on HDFS, that is Hadoop distributed file system, and you will use right workers to process the data. Here we have two parts. One is compute and one is storage, right? So if you use Dataproc, definitely you can separate compute and storage. Instead of HDFS, you can use Google Cloud Storage for storing your data and also staging your files, right? That is code. So there are many advantages. So I will do series of videos and I'll try to explain in detail one by one. Okay. in each of this video. Okay, let us move to the next slide. So what are the some important use cases, right? Usually, right, if you have on-prem Hadoop or Spark workloads, definitely this is the one which you will be looking into, that is Cloud Dataproc, Google Cloud Dataproc, where you can migrate your on-prem workloads to the cloud, where you will get many advantages like scalability, right, auto scalability, and separating compute and storage, right, and you can integrate, right, other open source tools like Jupyter notebooks, Anaconda, other tools which will definitely useful to perform data analysis and ML activities. Okay, and even you can spin up a dedicated Dataproc cluster, and you can configure these optional components to perform your data science activities. Okay, these are the few use cases, including like if you have to modernize your data lake, and if you have to perform some ETL, extract, transform, and load on some big data, right, for secure data processing. So because Google Cloud by default, so whatever the services you use, right, it is by default encrypted at rest, and there are many levels of security, right, you can implement, right. So these are the few use cases. Okay, so now let's go to the demo, right. So as part of this demo, so it's an introductory demo, a very basic level demo, where I would like to create a data cluster, and uh, I will see, right, I will show like how we can interact, right, with data cluster, right, by using SSH. I will try to SSH its master node, and then we'll try to interact with Hadoop cluster. And also there are two UIs like Hadoop admin and also jobs UI, where you can monitor your Hadoop jobs or Spark jobs, and also admin, where you will try to browse your Hadoop distributed file system, HDFS, right. So, and we'll explore all this. We'll try to find some HDFS commands to transfer file from local to the HDFS, and we'll try to browse that file system. And yeah, one of the important, right, service, that is Hive, right, as part of Hadoop ecosystem. We'll try to interact with Hive using SQL commands. We'll try to create some database, right. Basically it's a data warehouse in Hadoop ecosystem, where you can interact with Hive using SQL commands. We'll try to create some database and table, and we'll try to load data, and then we'll try to query it, right. We'll see all this in demo. Okay, so let us quickly move to the demo, right. Right now I'm into my Google Cloud platform, right. So I'm into this demo project. Now this is the Dataproc, okay, window, right, console, right. This is coming as part of big data or data analytics tool, right. If you go to the this bunch of tools, right, available in GCP, here this is the section where you can see, right, Dataproc here, right. So since I pinned it, so I can see this in my pinned services. Okay, now we'll try to clear the cluster, right, Dataproc cluster. Here we have many options. Let me select Dataproc demo. This is the name. So it usually it will not allow underscore, rather it choose, all right, or some other character, right. So okay, region, so nearest region, Asia South 2 I will select. Okay, so this is a cluster type, so which type of node you would like to have, right. In case of single node, so master itself, it will act as a worker and as well master. So I want standard where we will have one master and n workers. So we can create as many workers as we want. right? For high availability, we can go for this option, like where we'll have multiple master nodes and multiple workers too, right? And data scaling, at this moment I'm not going for auto scaling. Okay, so we have many other options. So since I would like to do series of videos, we can explore these options based on our context, right? The video context or concept or requirement or use case. Okay, so these are the option components I was talking about. Like you can whenever you create cluster, you can go for these options, whether you would like to have Anaconda, right, at Jupyter node, HBase. There are many other components available to perform certain activities as per your requirement. Okay, next let us configure master and worker nodes. So here my compute instance series is n1. I will like to go for n1 standard 2. Okay, I don't want this much primary disk size, rather I will go for 100 GB. Worker nodes anyway, select standard 2, number of workers 2, let us have 50 GB. Okay, so secondary worker nodes, it's a different concept where you would like to have a preemptible nodes, a preemptible virtual machine. So I will discuss whenever it is right required. Okay, next, so customized cluster, right? So especially network configuration. So anyway I have default VPC. Let me give some network tags, right? This will I mean this tag is very much helpful whenever you would like to set up some firewall rules, right? So yeah, let me Hadoop demo, this is the tag. And okay, I'm leaving all other option by default. The security, so I'm just going for this option, allow API access to all Google Cloud services, because I would like to interact, I would like my Dataproc cluster to interact with other GCP services. Okay, so now let's create, right? And here we have one more decent option, very useful option available. So for example, if you like to create this cluster by using Cloud SDK, like through Cloud Shield, so you need to have CLI commands, right? If you click on here, yeah, this is right, this is a these are the commands you can use to create cluster by using CLI or REST. Okay, yeah, so this is equivalent to REST, sorry. So for CLI the syntax will be different, right? So you have to create cluster by using REST commands. This is the syntax. For CLI syntax will be different. Okay, now let us create cluster. Click on create cluster. Okay, it will take some time. Create cluster, so they say it is an average 90 seconds. It's almost right 1.5 minute. Okay, yeah, now Dataproc uh, cluster has been created. Now let us examine this cluster, right? So let us click on this details, right? Here you can see there are so many monitoring dashboards available to monitor your YAN memory and node managers and other options, right? HDFS capacity and all those, right? So here I am interested in this particular section, right? This is where you will monitor the Hadoop or Spark jobs, whatever you are going to start, right? So, and also VM instances. This will show, because while we are creating this cluster, we have selected one master node and two worker nodes. So we can SSH into master node, right? You can see SSH is enabled only to the master node, right? So we don't have option to SSH into worker nodes, right? So now let us open SSH, try to SSH into the master node, right? So it will open up our master node file system, that VM file system, right? From where we'll try to interact with our created data cluster, right? Okay, yeah, it's taking some time. Yeah, now you can see this is our master node VM instance. we don't have any file. So now here I would like to perform certain tasks, where in first step I would like to perform, right? So I would like to interact with HDFS, that is Hadoop distributed file system. So I'll try to upload some data into HDFS file system, and will examine other options, right? So let me create some sample data over here, right? Okay, I'm just creating some simple flat file, a text file, right? So this is the data. It's a simple data actually, where it has sales information related to the vehicle sold for different months, right? For example, especially auto sales, right? Okay, let me store this file. Now I have this data. Now I would like to upload this data. Let me copy this file to HDFS newly created folder, right? So for that, let me do that. Okay, put right to this folder. Now this has been copied. Let us try to now browse this folder, right? So let us see if whether our copied file is available or not. Okay, okay, now you can see, now we have this file into HDFS. Now in the next step, we'll try to interact with the Hive. We'll try to create some database in Hive, and we'll try to create some table, and then we'll load some data, then we'll try to find some queries. So as you know, Hive is a data warehouse and Hadoop ecosystem, right, where you can interact with standard SQL or SQL queries, right, with Hive. Okay, so before that, as I already told, so we can uh, even monitor, right, this Hadoop HDFS and also the jobs using UI interface, right? Usually there are two UI available to monitor these two different things. One is Hadoop admin UI and also job monitoring. So for that, basically we need to set up an security process, right, to access these two UIs, right? So we have to set up a firewall rules, right, and a given ports, right? Basically that uh, two UIs will be basically can be viewed on two different predefined ports. For admin, it is Hadoop admin, it is 9870 port. For job monitoring UI, it is EI0, EI10. So for that, we need to set up a firewall. Okay. For that, we'll have to go to our networking section of the GCP platform, right? Here you will have to go to the VPC network. Okay, right here it is. You can click on this firewall. So there are some default firewall rules already available. Okay, hello Hadoop is a name, optional name. Okay, won't accept underscore, we'll have to give hyphen. Okay, now network is default anyway. We'll keep direction of the traffic, right? Direction of the traffic should be ingress, right? We are trying to access those US, and action on match should be allow. So now if you remember, right, while we creating Hadoop cluster, right, there we have specified network tag. We have to use that same tag over here. So based on that tag, then this will allow our firewall rules, right, or whatever the setup or configuration we are defining. So it will allow those things based on our network tags. There our tag is Hadoop demo, if you remember, right? Yeah. Then so for this you have to specify your local IP, because you would like to access those two US, Hadoop admin and also job US, from your local machine, right? For that you need to know your IP4 address. For that you need to type this command. Okay, this is my local address, local machine address, right? Now you have to specify this address based on, okay. Now this is the thing where you will have to uh, write. So 98708088. Okay, so create. Now this firewall rule will be created. Once it is created, then we'll try to access those US based on those ports. Okay, now it has been created. Okay, yeah, let us see. Firewall rule has been created. Now we'll try to access Hadoop admin and jobs window using these two ports, right? 8088 and 987. Usually admin will be available on 9870. So jobs monitoring is available on 8088, right? So for that, what you have to do, you have to go to the VM instance, okay? Because in our cluster we have 3 VM instances, 2 are workers, 1 is master, right? Usually we'll have to check VM instance external IP address. Okay, this is external IP address of the master node VM instance. Copy it. Okay, open new browser, right? Paste and 9870. This is where you will have your admin window. In the other window, you just same thing, paste, and this is another port to monitor job. These are the different jobs, right? Okay, so you can monitor, right? This is admin window, okay, where you can see the information about data nodes, right? And also come to the utilities and browse the file system, right? So now this is a file system. This is a folder we have created, right? Just click on it. Okay, you can see the file which has been copied as part of our earlier task. This is how you can interact with uh, Hadoop cluster using a UI interface. Okay, this is where you will monitor jobs. So as part of my earlier practice, so you can see some jobs already there, right? So now we'll go to again our uh, cluster master node file system. Here you just, we would like to, as I already told, we will basically create some Hive table and we'll try to find some queries. Hive queries. Okay, type just Hive. Okay, now it will open up an Hive interactive shell. Okay, from where you will interact with the Hive using SQL. Okay, now you have Hive open, Hive shell open. Okay, show data bases. Okay, I think I don't see any. So let me create some database. Okay, same, we we will create a table related to vehicle source. So same thing, let me create this database. Now this database has been created. Use the database. Right, you won't have to use database, you won't have to just type the database and just use vehicle. Now you are into our vehicle database. Now let me create some table. Okay, so this is where I would like to create. But here this schema should match with our file, right? What are the file we have over here, right? That is vehicle source, right? This one. So that schema should match with this file schema. Okay, now let me create this table. Okay, now this table has been created. Now describe this table. Okay, sorry. Okay, you can see so vehicle name, city name, month and quantities. Now we'll try to load some data into this table. Okay, that you have to use. So here you can see while creating table I have just selected this option because that particular file has a header row. I would like to skip that header row. That's where I just mentioned that option over there. Now let me load. This is the command to load some data to the Hive table, right? So you will have to specify the HDFS path where we have that file available. Okay, so this is our HDFS path and folder, and we have, right? I think created folder name is vehicle. So now let me load this data. Okay. Oh, sorry, there is some typo. Let me fix that. Now I have, right, let me query this table. It will take some time. It just in the background it will submit some MapReduce job, I guess, right? In the Hadoop cluster, then it will fetch those rows using SQL, right? This is how you can create and load data and query. Let us try to fire one more simple query where we can just try to aggregate some data basically, right? So just aggregate sum of quantity based on the vehicle name. So same thing we can do. Okay, let me, sorry, there is some issue. Something always this there is some typo whenever I copy, right? This first character is not getting selected. Okay, let me, now it will basically, we have, now it will run. Okay, now this has submitted a job. Now it will return those results, right? Now it has been aggregated based on the name of the vehicle, the sum of the quantity. This is how you can interact with the Hive. Okay, in the next video series, so I will try to basically demo Spark, right? Interactive Spark shell, and how you can submit a Spark job using script, and how you can submit Spark job using, right, our Google Cloud Console. There are many uh, videos are coming up. Okay, thank you very much.